Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have Russ from hard rock metal band Etched and Embers.
How's it going, Randy?
Tell the story of our lives. You can tell it seen from your eyes. It's the future you're wanting, but the past is so haunting. Share the lessons that we've learned. Let the world watch us crash and burn as you cry out in sorrow that there is no tomorrow.
I wanted to start out by digging into some of your history. How did you get into music? What age did you start singing and playing guitar?
I've been a lifelong musician, and when I say that, I mean obviously when I was an infant, I wasn't a musician, but as soon as I could, get my hands on an instrument, I started out actually on drums in high school or middle school, and progressed on to guitar a little bit later on, and I became a singer just by way of not being able to find singers for the band projects we had. So we would do rehearsals, and I would just sing through those rehearsals, and eventually got to the point where I felt comfortable enough to be a front man. So, and the first, I was singing and playing guitar in high school, doing battle of the bands and things like that. And our first actual gig was just my senior year of high school. So
Can you tell me some of your musical influences?
they range greatly. I grew up being a huge Rush fan, and I actually my first major band was a three-piece project that we kind of toured around the central states. So it progressed on to I listened to things like Accept and Vanderberg, just different things as I was growing up, but got big into the grunge era, and it really that kind of stuck with me for a long time. My second major project was a band called Mind Riot, which was named after a Soundgarden song off of Bad Motor Finger. Um, so that's where my roots are. But I crave new music, and I kind of roll with the times as far as what I write. I've written anything from country tunes up to pop tunes to new kind of metalcore stuff. So.
Can you tell me how the band Etched and Embers formed?
I had some medical scares in 2018, and I was doing acoustic shows only. I was playing with, like Nate from Shaman's Harvest, doing shows with Bobby Amaru, the current singer of Saliva, just whoever I could get with on a stage, even built shows with just acoustic solo artists. So I was doing that, and in 2018 I had some scares medically, and was concerned that I might never step on a stage again. Worked through that, and realized that through all the time that I had been forming bands and doing different projects and things, that I never really put a goal in sight with where I wanted to take it. And I think everybody wants to, have a Billboard Top 40 song, or be on radio across the country. So in 2019, shortly after I got the diagnosis of what was going on with me, realized I wasn't dying, and started kind of treating and doing self rehab, physical therapy, and things like that myself to get into a position where I felt more comfortable. Because I had actually had episodes on stage that were pretty scary, And so it was very, very much a mental battle to get back to that point. So I'd written 100 plus songs in the years leading up to that. And I got with a group of guys, some that I had previously been in projects with, and formed Etched Embers in mid 2019. That lineup lasted till late 2019, and actually the drummer of that project is now the lead guitar player of Etched Embers. And we had a couple guys that were in filling the bass position and lead guitar positions. So I was kind of feeling it out, seeing where it was going to go, and putting some goals in front of myself, and hit the studio in January 2020 to record the first single, "Spoken," which we didn't do any type of radio push for it. We were just basically kind of testing the waters. The guys that I'd gotten into the project were studio musicians, basically for hire, and had their own projects. And after we recorded that first single, everybody wanted in full time. So we pushed forward, tracked 3 songs in the first 2 months of January of 2020, and then the whole world shuts down. So it was like we kind of went on hiatus almost for a year. We did continue to work remotely with the studios, and record some of the songs. I think in 2020 we recorded 7 songs, and we were just going in every month or every 6 weeks or whatever. And that was working remotely with Chris Dawson out at Orthotic Studios. We were tracking things down in Springfield at Reach Audio. When we dropped our first radio single, "Sail the Silence," in October 2020, we realized that we were on the right path. We hit top 40 on Billboard MRI chart with that one, and saw a good amount of radio play across the country with it. So we were really stoked on that. Continued to work together, and in February of 2021, we had a little bit of a disagreement with what our summer schedule was going to be as far as touring and playing and things. And Tyler and I parted ways with with the bass player and drummer at that time. And then we went to studio in March of 2020, March of 2021, Tyler and I, and recorded "Bring Me Back," our second radio single. That hit top 20 Billboard MRI chart. Found a couple new guys, one being my son, is now the bass player, and recruited Christian Bowles out of Des Moines, Iowa, to come down and play drums for us. So we've just been kind of plugging away at it, and taking the changes as they come, and just kind of shows is where our bread and butter's at, and we've been fortunate to be able to get back out there and do those.
Okay. Can you tell me how you came up with the name for the band?
Ironically, it was not really. I had jotted down about 4 or 5 sheets worth of band names for a previous project, and that was back in 2015, and I just pulled that sheet out, and started looking through them, and I started naming them off, and we came across Etched Embers, and immediately everybody knew that was the one. We Googled it. There were no bands out there. There is an artist that goes by that for her biography, and art she does, and but we just tagged the music on Facebook on it, and got the etchedembers.net website. So it was something we felt kind of had been in our back pocket for a while, and it just when we came across it, everybody was in agreement, and then especially when we got the logo done. We had our buddy Nick Gray do up the logo work, and when we seen that, because we had a few that we were still, like I think there were 3 or 4 in the final running, and we wanted to see what the logos would come out as, and Etched Embers was the one that really struck a chord with us.
What city is your band based out of?
We are based out of Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, and that's kind of between 3 or 4 different areas: Osage Beach, Camdenton, Lake of the Ozarks. It's all around that generalized Lake of the Ozarks area. And as I said, our drummer just moved here from Des Moines, Iowa. So a lot of people say, "Oh, the show Ozark, is that what you're talking about?" And it is the area that the Ozark show is based off of, but they only shot a few scenes here. The first episode of that show, where Jason Bateman's standing out standing on a cliff looking over the edge of the lake, that's about a mile from my house. So it was kind of neat to see that. But then they went to Georgia, where they got all the tax breaks, and shot the rest of it down there on a lake in Georgia. So. But everybody's like, "Are you, is it really like that around here?" And I explained to them, not really. But ironically enough, we now are in line to get a casino, which we did not have before that. So I don't know if you've ever seen the show, but it's based around the development of a casino and such. So, but, but it's a great area. I mean, Bike Week's kicking off right now. It is. We have millions of people roll through this place in the summer, so it's always hopping.
How's the music scene down there?
It's good, but it's not good for us because we are in tourist central, and out of the 30 to 50 venues on this lake and around the lake area, they're all tourism based music venues where they just have cover bands, 1 to 6 or 1 to 4, and then 6 to 10 or 7 to 11 or whatever. We do have a couple places that allow us to bring in our type of music and build shows off of that. There are a couple great big venues. I mean, we had Shine Down here this year, Seether, Breaking Benjamin, Starset, and that's literally just 2 miles from my house, a 9,000 square foot or now 9,000 seat venue. And then they have a couple others that are trying to compete with that. So, the music is alive and kicking for sure around here, but it's hard for us as an original hard rock metal artist to do a lot of shows around here. So we rely on our Springfield, Missouri area and Columbia, Missouri area, St. Louis, Kansas City, which are just an hour or two away from us. So
I wanted to dig in a couple of your songs. You had From Ashes. It came out February 19th, 2021, and in the song you sang, "Will I see you again? Feels like I've lost a friend. Tell me, is this the end, or from ashes we rise again?" And it seems like there's kind of like hope that that person will get past their issues and everything will be fine.
it's based off of relationship struggles and, finding a soulmate that you really feel is the one for you and battling life just in general. I mean, we get so many curveballs and so many things thrown upon our shoulders that, we sometimes don't you know, really let the people know that are in our lives how much they mean to us. And I've had a relationship for quite some time, and it's persevered through a lot of difficult times not only in our relationship but in the world in general. As a lot of people do, we kind of soak all those things that are going on around us, and so it doesn't have to be that we're not that we're upset with each other, but we're just upset with things in general. Sometimes the people around us are the pincushions that get that, and so it's kind of talking from that aspect. And but yeah, it's I love the fact that people can rise above that, and if you feel if you feel strongly about somebody, that you will always make things work and come out the other side.
Judge a book by its cover. Skip the part where it's over now. You replay the beginning, but forget how it's ending. Will I see you again? It feels like I lost a friend. Tell me, is this the end? Oh, from ashes we rise again. From ashes we rise again. From ashes we rise again.
You guys just released Fear June 30th, 2022. And in the video, you have some words that show up like manipulation and fake news. I was wondering, do you think the media is spreading fear?
I think that anybody that is honest with themselves would say that we are governed by fear. And it doesn't necessarily come from any one side. I think it's just a tactic that they use, and the media, unfortunately, has become the real anchored all that. I mean, years and years ago, when we didn't have all this access to news and different things and social issues and things like that, I was a happier person because, maybe I just disconnected from it, but it's so much in our face. And I will say that we did not choose the words that were on those TV screens in that video. We let our videographer producer decide that. That was the cut we got back. And we felt that it kind of hit some of the marks with what we were saying in the song. And the song really is about just, I see so many people from both sides of the aisle in all walks of life um, that were just terrified for the last 2 years. And I still see it in Missouri, where we don't really have restrictions or anything like that. I still see some of that in today's life, and just, not that we're past all this necessarily, but, we have made great strides to be so. But, I never want to look at anybody that's in my circle or my friends and think of them as the enemy or think of them as somebody that could harm me in any way. And when I say that, I mean I own a business and I run a business, that's helps support this music and us going on the road and things like that. And when I have customers that won't let me in their house because of customers I've worked for before, it just changes the things, and it sets off a tone of fear and alarm and worry. I lost my mom last year, and she was 84 years old. She was a trooper, and she lived her life very, very. I mean, she did a lot of things, and she got scared, and I seen the fear that was that was arising in her. So it was just kind of more of a call to action that we have to maintain strength and in our personal lives and in our minds, and we're just robbing ourselves of some of that livelihood that's been either taken away from us by there was necessary things that had to happen to get this world to start moving again, and but it was all done with fear tactics and such, that in a fashion that it scared a lot of people, and maybe unnecessarily so. They needed to be concerned, but some people just took it a little too far. So.
The cycle is shifting. The truth's nowhere to be found. A new day's beginning. Don't let them pull you down. Breaking me, pushing me, pulling me so deep. The things after saying makes no sense. I can't sleep. Actions are spreading. The facts are misleading. But while we're still breathing, till then we won't back down. I don't know where we'll go from here. Don't close your eyes. Stop living in fear. Until then we won't back down. Well, here's where we stand our ground.
What do you guys got planned for the rest of 2022?
We've got some good shows coming up. We've had a great summer schedule. We were actually supposed to hit the road and go on tour with Saul. We had won a contest in October of 21 that was going to be a national tour run with them, supporting their new album, and things got screwed up a little bit on the schedule on their end. I had to get back in the studio, so we actually played the first date that Saul had done 2 weeks ago at Souther Slam in Sutherland, Iowa. So that was crazy that was their first show of 2022. But we've had shows with Any Given Sin, Bad Flower, 10 Years, Dropout Kings. We've done some great shows. No Resolve, some sold out shows even. But we're finishing off the schedule that's on the books. We've got a few dates through October, and then we're back in the studio for a short time and going to be dropping an EP, 6 or 7 song EP that'll include some of the tracks that have been out there and then some of the unreleased tracks as well.
Is that like in the new year or before the new year?
I think the CD will be announced by November, and we'll probably do a pretty quick drop with it because we're sitting on some songs now, and we were actually expected to be back in the studio, but our schedule, we were taking shows over studio dates. So the studio dates we had to push back just because we wanted to get out there and play. We'd rather be in front of people for sure than sitting in a studio. But I'm assuming right now, I would love to say that we're 100% sure that this is going to drop by the end of the year, but it may get pushed into that first month. But I'm shooting to have this out by the end of the year.
Where can we get a hold of you guys? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
All the socials, Facebook, it's Etched in Embers Music. Twitter's, it's Embers Etched. Everything else is Etched in Embers. And then etchedinembers.net is the website. And that can link you to all the socials as well. We're starting to do a little more TikTok type stuff and some live stream stuff on Facebook. Now that we have all the band within a short distance of each other, we'll be doing a lot of those things as band, where sometimes I would do those solo or what have you. So that content should be rolling out pretty steadily.
That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Brandy, I appreciate you having me, and anytime you got any questions, feel free to hit us up. We've always got news to talk about, so we love guys like you and shows like what you have, because it's what helps us connect with the fans in all the corners, man.